Helene, Revenues and Expenses.
Thank you.
Let me introduce you.
Go ahead.
This gentleman, for those that have not been had an opportunity to meet him, his name is Tommy Burns. He is a county manager from a county way down on the eastern coast.
Carteret County.
Yes, sir. He has been assigned to us through EOC to help with our FEMA financial budgetary issues, and that's what we are dealing with tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity. I grew up in Shelby, not far from here, so it's always good to get back in what I consider home. First of all, I want to thank you all for the hospitality that you've shown all of us. I'm going to introduce our team members. Some of them are out in the field still. We are Task Force Old Fort, and our boss is Melissa Joyce. She's our liaison officer, and she is sort of our go-between between the task force here and the EOC and Marion. Melissa's been with us. She came in yesterday and relieved, or day before.
Yeah, day before,
Day
Saturday.
before, and she relieved Rodney Cates, who had been serving in that role. We have a delegation from Louisiana that's helping us, and I want to introduce those folks. Dawson Primes is here. Mel Gaspard, Mel's in the back. Angela Sanders, she's been helping me with the finance and the paperwork. Vicki Travis, Vicki's been working over at the EOC and Marion and doing a great job. I'm here to help you through part of this. This is something that does not happen in communities hardly ever. And the state EOC recognized through this event that there would be communities that would need our help, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help you and to assist you. That's our job. We'll give you advice and support, but we're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to offer you suggestions and encourage you to get on the right path to getting things cleaned up and back to normal here, because that's what every one of us wants. In our county, when we have a hurricane, we have a saying in our EOC that we end every briefing with, and that's one day closer. And it's one day closer for us as individuals, but more importantly, it's one day closer for us as a community. And that's why we're all a community of people that are here to help, because we want to get Old Fort back to the Old Fort that I remember growing up. So what we've got before you tonight are some things that we need to put some measures in place, because you're going to begin pretty soon to get some bills in for this storm. And they can be overwhelming, and we're going to talk through some of the other aspects of that in the meeting, a little bit later in the meeting. But one thing, this budget amendment that we're recommending to you is a fund balance appropriation. It's from the general fund and also from your water and sewer funds. Without going into the whole specifics of it, you're going to have substantial expenditures from both of those funds going forward. This will help you get established to start paying those early invoices that are going to start coming into the town for those emergency repairs and emergency supplies that you've had to order. So this budget amendment would appropriate $200,000 from each of those funds, and in doing that, the offsetting expense would be created in your expenditure statement. It would say, I think, something along the lines of Tropical Storm Helene expenses, or however she chooses to denote it in your general ledger, because we need to start tracking those expenses in a separate expense and revenue line item. The last aspect of that budget amendment is to establish a new revenue line item in all of those funds, your water fund, sewer fund, and your general fund, that's going to be simply entitled FEMA revenue, so that when you start getting your FEMA reimbursement, you've got a place to put it back into your budget. So that's basically the gist of the budget amendment. I can talk, and if anybody's got any questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. But this is to get the ball rolling for you to start tracking those expenses. It's very important that you track those expenses in as much detail as you can. This event has a declaration number that Renee will have access to that needs to be noted on all of these expenses. In the way of invoices, I would suggest to you that you err on the side of having too much detail rather than not enough detail. Because at the end of this, 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, we want you to be able to recapture all of the money that you had to spend to respond to this event. And so that's the purpose of this budget amendment tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Next item on the agenda?